Is there evidence that a new patch will be coming soon to the Spyro Reignited Trilogy? Let's find out! What's up guys, Canadian Guy A here, and I am back with an awesome video that had me bring out the old detective skills of before the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. So, there is one issue that people have been having about the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. One that I think fans that both adored the games and some that may have disliked it. And that is the bugs. No, the bugs are not the level of Enter the Dragonfly. However, they are there. If you are trying to break the game, however, you most definitely can. But if you are doing a regular playthrough, you may only see these bugs once in a while, except for the Yeti Racing. That minigame is an absolute mess, but nonetheless, these bugs need to be fixed, both big and small, as they feel a bit too frequent for them to feel 100% acceptable in the game. I'm not giving this game a free pass, things need to be fixed. There are also some other things that have been pointed out in terms of animations and lighting, mostly in the third game. Some suggestions are more because of certain people's tastes, but I definitely agree that certain areas could use more love. The whole game is so beautiful, so when you got a few areas that just don't look right, it stands out and just overall looks jarring. So, people have been asking for a patch to fix some of these issues, at least for the bugs and major glitches, and I agree, the game needs to be patched, which I want to go in depth about in a separate video. But before we get to that, I found some interesting stuff that points out to an incoming patch. You see, there was a post on Reddit by jsouth84, apparently asking Activision support if the Spyro Reignited Trilogy was going to get a patch. In the alleged email, Activision support responded by saying that Toys for Bob was aware of the issues of Spyro Reignited Trilogy and that they are working day in and day out to resolve these issues. Now, the legitimacy of this post is definitely in question to begin with. Also, even if it were true, support company emails are not the best things to look for pieces of evidence. Anyone remember the Spyro Treasure Trilogy fiasco that many people fell for, so much so that even other support staff of retailers were all saying that the Treasure Trilogy was coming soon? Yeah, it was pretty bad. However, I did contact Activision myself about this post and the concept that there would be a Spyro patch soon, and I did get a response. It was simply no comment. Well, that doesn't get us anywhere. So I had put this video initially on the back burner and wanted to wait for more evidence to arise. And actually, to my surprise, more evidence has surfaced. Over on Twitter, Spyro is still bringing out videos, two of them being, in a sense, character trailers for the side characters in the third game of Spyro Year the Dragon. So far, we got Sheila and Bentley's trailer. People liked it, retweeted it, and moved on. And I did the same. However, a user by the name of Super Moon Knight tweeted to me to tell me that Bentley's trailer seemed different in comparison to the one that we have in-game. I thought that it was interesting and started digging, and turns out they were 100% right. But these differences was not just Bentley's trailer, but Sheila's too. I also want to mention that I had edited these cinematics to look very similar to the trailers frame to frame as best as I possibly could. So when you see them side by side, they will be as close as physically possible. Let's first take a quick look at Sheila's trailer.
I hope you appreciate this favor I'm doing in letting you out.
Okay, so there are three differences in Sheila's trailer. Two of them are very small and barely noticeable, and one that you would never notice unless you were looking at the original. Now I'm going to show you the biggest change in the Sheila footage first so that you don't think I'm crazy while I'm looking at the other two smaller changes. After Moneybags gets knocked out, we see him get sent flying, but if we were to pause here and compare the original with the footage shown on Twitter, you can see that there is a vast difference with the snow and rock textures. Now, forgive the new images for being a tad blurry because they were uploaded on Twitter and Twitter compresses the living bananas out of their videos, so it is what it is. Anyway, there is less snow on the rocks in the newer version, likely because the home world is supposed to represent spring, and TFP likely thought that there was too much snow there. But there is a significant difference between the original build and this new build. Now, let's take a look at the much smaller changes. Right behind Sheila, you can see that the fog particle effects here in front of the portal is much more thicker and more prominent than before. The next really small change is right behind Moneybags. You can see that the area of grass has been hewn down. Why? I really don't have a clue. But like I said, the biggest change is the snow on the rocks. Now, let's take a look at the Bentley trailer.
The first rejuvenating breath of freedom. Now hold on. One more, perhaps?
At least.
I don't even need to go in too much detail about this one, but simply putting both cutscenes side by side, you can see a clear difference. The new version's lighting is so vastly improved, it's laughable compared to the original. Bentley looks less like a toy and makes the scene look way more dynamic. Also, when trying to edit these together, I noticed little differences in animation when I was trying to frame match them, so there might even be animation changes to make the animation smoother. Also, one other thing, the texture in the arch compared to the original looks vastly better in the new version, as before it kinda looks blurry and bland. If we look here, we can see more of how the dynamic lighting is used by looking at the torch and seeing how it's giving off more light while the rest of the room has gotten darker, especially compared to the original as it looked more evenly toned and flat. Now, if you have not caught on yet as to why these small details are important, let me explain. The fact that we are seeing even slightly different cinematics released recently from their originals, it means that these are separate and different builds, different patches. The one that we have at home is version 1.02, and this one is assumedly being version 1.03, as there are vast improvements. However, this not only shows that Toys for Bob is assumingly working on the technical side of the game, like bugs and glitches, but on the visual aspect as well, improving the lighting and altering textures. This ain't no small technical patch. This shows that they are working on visual fixes too, which shows the depth and level that they are going to fixing this game, which is really nice to see. Now, in terms of a time frame of when 1.03 will be released, I honestly have no idea, but it's been 2 months since the game has been out, and some are complaining that there is no patch yet. Well, Crash Bandicoot didn't get its first patch until just about a year from its release date. I don't think it'll take that long with Spyro, however. We might have to wait a few months though. Now, an optimistic point of view, I think we are looking at an update in perhaps the vicinity of March 2019. I am unsure, to be honest. If the update comes out before, then great. If not, I think we can officially say that it would be problematic overall. I hope it comes out before March, but only time will tell. But hopefully, the wait is not that long, as we are already seeing progress and changes in the game already. So the least that we know is that there will be a patch and changes that go deeper than just bugs and glitches. There will even be graphical improvements as well, which I think is fantastic as long as they get it done in not an obnoxious amount of time. But that's just my thoughts. What are yours? Do you think that the patch could be here very soon or in the very distant future? Comment below and let me know. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. Cue the extra.